How do you keep people excited, engaged, and on your webinar so that when you make your offer, they'll buy from you? Before we jump into it, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button so you never miss a video that will make you more money. You can grab my free course on webinars, 5 worksheets, and 5 videos down below in the description as well. All right, let's jump into it. How do you keep people excited, engaged, and leaning forward so that they buy when you make your offer? That's what we're going to be talking about today. So I want to start with a story. Go back for a second and think about your favorite high school teacher. Do you have a good picture of them? Do you remember sitting in their class? You probably have a smile coming to your face right now. Well, take a moment now and think about your least favorite high school teacher. I bet you have a frown on your face, right? You're thinking about how boring their class was. And here's the thing. The reason that their class was boring was because they were probably busy teaching all the time. They were writing on the board the minute you walked in. They didn't have a lot of excitement. They didn't use tone of voice. They didn't do anything to really engage you. Instead, they just taught, and all the information went over your head. You fell asleep, you passed notes, or you jetted out the back door, if you were like me. So how do you stop this from happening on your webinar? Well, the key is that you teach less. That's the big takeaway here. You want to give them one big aha, one big light bulb moment. Then you want to support it with 3 facts. I have an entire other video that walks you through the format of the webinar. This is specifically about how to keep them excited. So the first thing is you want to use a lot of dramatic stories. The more dramatic things are, they're going up and down, right? They're leaning in, they're like, oh, what's going to happen next? Then you solve that and you open up a new problem. Think about watching your favorite movie or your favorite television show. The reason that you love it so much is because there's drama. You're wondering what's going to happen next. Ooh, is that person going to have the outcome that we think? Is something else going to happen? There are plot twists. You want to use a lot of stories that highlight these plot twists. So the first story that is key in this is your hero's journey story. So when you format your webinar, the very first slide has a curiosity hook. Then you give a very brief testimonial to show an outcome. You tell people what they're going to learn on the webinar, and then within 90 seconds to 2 minutes of the start of your webinar, you want to be into your hero's journey story. This gets them involved in the drama. Some tips for telling great stories. First off, always get them to imagine that they are the person in it. And you do this by using the phrase, imagine for a second, or take yourself back in time, place yourself in these shoes. You use those kinds of phrasing to get people to start to think of themselves as the protagonist. Believe it or not, most people will do that normally when they hear a story. That's why we love movies and television shows. The second thing that you can do to make stories really exciting and really engaging is to engage all 5 senses. What did it look like? What did it smell like? What did it feel like? What did things taste like? When you're telling the moments out of your story, you want to make sure to use all the senses. There's an article that Stephen King put out that talks about writing using the 5 sentences. If you Google it, you should be able to find it. But the key here is use all of the sentences. The next thing is make sure your camera is on. You want to talk with your hands. You want people to build a relationship with you, and you want to show up at an extremely high energy level. If you need to stand up to make this happen, make sure you are standing. If you can do it sitting, talk with your hands. Use your voice. Get people excited. The camera steals 2 levels of energy from you every time you use it. So think about that for a second. If you're showing up on a scale of 1 to 10 at an energy level of 5, it's taking 2 energy levels away. You're coming across at a 3. People viewing you are going to naturally mirror you because you are the authority that they're listening to. So if they're mirroring you at a 3, that means they're going to be at a 1 or a 2. No wonder they are going to bounce off of your webinar. They're going to be on Facebook. They're going to be on their phone. They're not going to be paying attention. So you need to show up at a 6, 7, or 8 so that you get them at a level 5 or above. How else can you keep people onto your webinar and keep them paying attention? Well, we'll get to that in just a second. That was an open loop. If you didn't catch what I just did there, I got you to lean in and say, wait, I want to know the answer to that. So you always want to be using this. So good webinars have at least 8 to 9 open loops. Better webinars have 15 or more. And the absolute best webinars have more than 30 open loops embedded in them. So open loops are any time that you get people to lean forward, wondering what's going to come next. A ninja secret here is that some of your open loops should not be closed until you make the offer. By closing them with the offer, more people will buy. Back to engagement. How do you get people really engaged? Well, another way that you can do this is to build in a giveaway. So if you're doing this as part of a 5-day challenge or a 10-day challenge, or this is a live webinar where you're going to give away something at the end of the webinar, you can mention it throughout and that'll get people excited. This is why people love the lottery. People love raffles. You can use this to keep people engaged. So when they register, they know that there's going to be something free given away. And then you keep mentioning it throughout the webinar to build more excitement. This will do two things. It will build the excitement level, but it will also have more people stay onto your offer so that you can make more sales. Last but not least is you want to always be trial closing and future pacing the people who are listening. So this means getting them involved in seeing how the thing that you do will affect their life in the future. And when you're telling stories, you just wrap this by saying, can you imagine how this will look in your life? Can you imagine what this will mean for your business when you're doing an extra $10,000 a month in sales? Can you see how this will affect your relationships, how people will respond to you? Can you feel your confidence increasing when you use this? People will get excited because they start to see the results in their lives and in their business before they ever take action, which builds the excitement level and gets them to know, like, and trust you more. These are 5 things that you can use right now in your webinar to build excitement and stop people from jumping off. The clients that I've worked with to use these tips, we have more than doubled the amount of people that stay all the way through their webinar to hear their offer, which is key to making more money with your webinar. Do you have a specific question about how this applies to you, or are you trying to figure out how to build an open loop? Leave a comment down below. I will make sure to reply to it and help you out however I can. While you're down there, grab my free course on webinars, 5 worksheets, and 5 videos that will show you exactly how to get started with webinars piece by piece. Also, if you have a webinar, but it's not converting the way that you want, and you would love for me to go through it line by line and slide by slide, there's a link down below that will take you to a page where we can get started with that. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button so you never miss a video that will make you money, and take action, change lives, and make money. I'll see you soon.